In the bustling streets of New York, life raced forward for everyone. Among the sea of lives was Saim, a man who believed his hard work and income were enough to keep his household running. To him, providing financially was the pinnacle of responsibility. But his wife Lauren often argued otherwise. "You're never here, Saim. The kids barely know you and I feel like I'm running this house alone," she would say. Saim would silence her with the same dismissive retort every time. "I'm the one paying the bills. I can do as I please. If you're unhappy, you can leave whenever you want. This house needs me, not you." Lauren had stopped responding. Her silence wasn't surrender, it was the weight of reality pressing down on her. Where could she go? Even in the progressive heart of the city, societal judgment wasn't kind to a woman walking away from her marriage. The whispers, the sideways glances, Lauren knew them all too well. She thought of her parents, aging in a small suburban town. Returning home would bring shame upon them. A daughter's place isn't in her parents' home once she's married, the unwritten rule echoed in her mind. So she stayed. She swallowed her pride, masked her pain and carried on. One morning Lauren woke up feeling unwell. Her body burned with fever and every movement was a struggle. But life didn't pause for her. She dragged herself to the kitchen, made breakfast, and packed lunches for her 2 children before collapsing onto the bed. Saim noticed her condition briefly as he prepared to leave for work. "See a doctor," he said casually, not breaking stride as he walked out the door. By evening her fever had worsened. Desperate for help, she called him. "I'll pick up some medicine on my way back," he said, brushing her off. When he got home he placed the medicine on the table. "Take this," he said flatly before heading to the living room. He didn't notice her trembling hands as she struggled to pick up the pill or the tears she wiped away as he scrolled through his phone. He didn't sit beside her or offer even a comforting touch on her forehead. That night, as Saim slept soundly, dreaming of work deadlines, Lauren lay awake. The fever consumed her, leaving her body shaking and her stomach knotted with pain. Her mother-in-law, Ellen, made her stance on the matter abundantly clear. "This house doesn't need her," she said dismissively as she cleared the dinner table. "Everything runs fine without Lauren." But everything wasn't fine. The next morning, Saim left for work, once again donning the role of the provider. Lauren's condition had worsened dramatically. Her fever spiked and she could barely move. By afternoon, she was unable to get out of bed. Ellen called Saim in a panic. "She's not getting up. I think you should come home." "I'll be there soon," he replied, irritated. But soon stretched into hours. When Saim finally returned home and saw the state Lauren was in, panic set in. He rushed her to the hospital, but it was too late. Lauren was gone. The woman who had silently borne the weight of a thankless life, the one who was repeatedly told she wasn't needed, had left for a place where she was free from pain. And in her absence, she proved just how much she was needed. In the days that followed, the house descended into chaos. Saim struggled with even the simplest tasks. He couldn't find his files for work, misplaced his clothes, and had no idea where to look for a clean handkerchief. The children, too young to comprehend the permanence of their mother's absence, cried endlessly for her warmth. "Where's Mommy?" they asked, their innocent voices filled with longing. Saim had no answers, just an unbearable lump in his throat that grew heavier each day. Lauren's mother-in-law, Ellen, who had always dismissed Lauren's efforts as insignificant, now found herself unable to keep the household running. The meals Lauren once prepared with care were either missed or hastily thrown together. Medicine schedules were forgotten. The once lively home was now filled with an oppressive silence, heavier than any argument or noise. Saim, who had prided himself on being the cornerstone of his family, now sat alone in the emptiness of his home. The weight of regret was suffocating. He realized he didn't need to tell anyone where he was going or when he'd return because there was no one waiting for him anymore. Lauren's absence was a void no one could fill. Her presence had been the glue that held the family together, even when they failed to see it. Now, to prove her worth, Lauren had paid the ultimate price: her life. One evening, Saim sat in their disheveled living room, staring blankly at the chaos surrounding him. Papers were scattered on the coffee table, dishes piled in the sink, and toys were strewn across the floor. Tears streamed down his face as he whispered to himself, "This house didn't need me. I needed Lauren." This story serves as a powerful reminder to value the people who silently hold our lives together. Too often we take for granted the countless sacrifices made by our loved ones, dismissing their efforts as insignificant while glorifying our own contributions. Relationships thrive on mutual respect, care, and acknowledgement, not just financial support or words of authority. It's easy to assume that someone will always be there, quietly shouldering responsibilities. But life is fragile, and regrets cannot bring back lost moments. Let's learn to appreciate, respect, and nurture the bonds we share with our loved ones while we still have the chance. Love and kindness should never be left unspoken or withheld. They are the foundation of a truly happy and complete home. If you like this story, please like and share and subscribe the channel for next video. See you in next video. Stay happy.